I'm Colonel Felix Alaita, retired. I'm a Senior Special Assistant to the President on Country Risk Assessment and Evaluation. And by the grace of God, I've been able to initiate this whole bill process and push it to where it is today. So I am delighted to welcome you all to this Ministries, Departments, Agencies Consultative session for the review of the Nigerian Creative Industries Development Draft Bill. Permit me to start by thanking you all most sincerely for honoring our invitation to this consultative session. Your presence here is proof that we can achieve the goal of transforming Nigeria's creative sector. Once again, thank you all for coming. So the Nigerian Creative Industries Development Bill is an executive bill slated to serve as part of Mr. President's legacy to provide an enabling environment for our creative and enterprising youth. It's a whole of government, whole of nation approach to championing a collaboration between the Ministry of Information and Culture, the Office of the Chief of Staff to the President, and industry stakeholders. The bill aims to bridge the gap between the Nigerian creative industries and the government to build a vibrant, profitable, rapidly growing creative sector by transforming the creative space through a legal, regulatory, and institutional framework with an executable action plan. The creative industries are an essential part of Nigeria's economy and play a crucial role in job creation, innovation, and cultural expression. In today's rapidly changing world, it is more important than ever to support these industries to ensure that Nigeria continues to be at the forefront of creativity and cultural and economic growth. This Creative Industry Bill sets out a framework for the development of creative industries, outlining measures to support these industries' growth and provide the necessary support to enable their success. The draft bill takes into account the views of major stakeholders, including government, creative practitioners, the private sector, and international organizations, to ensure that it meets the needs of all parties involved. We have also consulted with leading experts in the field to ensure that the bill is informed by the latest thinking and research in the area of creative industries. In conclusion, I would like to emphasize that the bill is not just the creative industries, but it's about the future of Nigeria. It's about ensuring that we continue to be a leader in the creative world, that we continue to support and encourage the growth of our creative industries, and that we continue to be leading light in the world of culture and creativity. I would say the bill is for your children, your children's children, that we may bequeath to them a much more prosperous and fulfilling future. Thank you once more.
Thank you very much. My name is Falon Shokoka. I'm the Director General of the Nigerian Tourism Development Corporation in Abuja here. I have only just read through this bill, and there are a lot of good things in it, but there are some words of caution I must raise. The Nigerian Tourism Development Corporation bill has just been assented to by the President, which now makes it the Nigerian Tourism Development Authority. So I have been through this process over the last 6 years, and it's like removing a tooth every other day. I like the fact that government and the private sector have finally realized that the creative industry is an industry that needs to be treated specially. And for that, I am happy with this bill. It's an opportunity for government, the private sector, and this newly identified creative sector to work together. Stop being afraid of government. Government belongs to you. Without you, the people, there's no government. The problems you're facing is the gap between the skill sets, the disruptive digital skill sets that you in the creative industry employ that doesn't exist in government. Help government put those skill sets together so that you can communicate on the same frequency. Look, I was educated on pen and paper. Now I have to use an iPhone. Do you know what kind of culture shock that was to me? That iPhone killed the Polaroid I was used to, killed the Sony Walkman, killed so many devices that I grew up with. That is my pen and paper education, but I have struggled to come onto the iPhone generation. You have to help communicate better in a simpler intermediate form or language that government can work with. There's always been a focus on academic, university degrees, etc. Vocational is what makes China, Korea what they are. How many people have university degrees there? But the vocational skills they have produce meaningful incomes that are taxable by government. I invite you to look at the institutes, etc., that you want to set up and make them modular vocational skills acquisition centers where I can do something for 3 months to 6 months, etc., and it is meaningful to me in that it allows me to use a skill. Some pieces of information that I think will be useful in this forum. I was in Arusha in Tanzania a few months ago, and Amadeus and Google made a statement. They said Nigeria is the highest user of social media in the world. That is the soft power that Obiasika was talking about, and that is what quietly this bill is also talking to. We are later on today about to sign an agreement with a company, an agency called Casa Africa in Spain, where they have agreed to run a competition every year in the creative industry to identify 2 individuals who they will take back to go and play all the festivals in Spain. And I think 2 people a year from Nigeria will blow in Europe based on that. The UNWTO has agreed to establish a tourism academy for training in Lagos. There's also going to be a UNWTO Festival of Gastronomy in Lagos.
It is my pleasure today to represent the Honorable Minister of Information and Culture to put in 1 or 2 words in what is actually going on. But let me quickly tell us here, I'm not used to the speaking too much English. I'm going to the practical aspect of whatever I do. Because if we don't quickly address what is going on in Nigeria, posterity will judge all of us. A lot of things are being done the wrong way, and we just leave it, and we think somebody will come tomorrow and correct some of them. It will take some time. I will first and foremost respectfully look at the document where I believe in most cases we rush into conclusions, and that is why we have a lot of bits to carry along. As for the bill, I will set up a legal team. It's the right thing to do. A legal team will look at what areas is it conflicting with other parastatals, what area is it touching on other places, because the reason is very simple. Instead of the creative industry bill, what is happening to the present parastatals of government in place? Are they doing well? Do they need to change some of the things they're doing? We need to look at all of these things. It's not just every day. After the creative industry bill, somebody will come tomorrow again and create another bill. And we'll be billing while the whole world is moving forward. We are still there thinking of what is still keeping us. Today, I'd like to tell us, like Falon Shokuka just mentioned, the bonus of the issue is that we compete to ourselves too much. I am happy and proud today that I've done my best in tourism. I left. Falon Shokuka has got the bill to expand the legal framework of that sector. That is what we should be thinking. It's not just all the time everybody wants to own an aircraft. Everybody in Nigeria wants to own an aircraft and put his name. Dangote aircraft, Rushewe aircraft, Falon Shokuka aircraft, Obaze aircraft, and at the end of the day, we are not making progress. So for me, a legal frame committee will be set up to look at this document. And I'd like to tell the organizers quickly that some of the items in those documents are infringing on some parastatals that are already set up by government, by law. So we'll be going back and front and be going here and there. I like to say it also that tourism is to market and promote the brand identity developed by culture of a creative Nigeria. Nigeria is not two, it's only one. So when we set up that legal framework, we'll now come to look at it and get it. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as at 1991, there were only 4-story buildings in Dubai. Dubai had oil, Nigeria had oil. Dubai used their own oil to develop what I call cultural and tourism policies. And today, Dubai is ruling the whole world. So I am of the strong opinion that we should put our heads together, see what can unite Nigeria, because we don't have two Nigerians, it's only one. For me, the National Endowment Fund, Creative Endowment Fund, is there, set up by law. We've not been able to activate it to get what we needed to have picked out of it. So for me, I've listened to every speaker. I've looked at the document. We will do a formal report to the Honorable Minister of Information and Culture, who will be guided on what next to be done with this document.
Thank you. My colleagues and brothers, Otumba and Florinshaw, the SSA, the President, and the creatives, other senior officials of government, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to be here, to come nonetheless, because one, I believe strongly in the potential for this sector to become a leading contributor to not just the GDP, but jobs, because it's one thing to have growth, GDP growth, it's another to have jobs. And what we seek is job-rich growth. And this is one sector that has the potential to deliver that. I've come here also because my interest in and willingness to support this sector predates even my time in government. Okay? About 20 years ago, I was managing director of a bank. And my bank was the first bank then. These were the very early days of Nollywood to set up, to support this industry, to support this sector. So I have believed in this a long time ago. However, from where I sit now, let me make this very clear up front. This document says it's a bill to, let me read the exact language. It says it's a bill for an act to establish the Creative Industries Development Commission and to provide an enabling environment for the creative industries in Nigeria and other related matters. So there are two big parts to it. One is the establishment of the commission. Personally, and the office that I currently head, will not support on any condition the establishment of yet another agency of government. We have for long maintained that in this sector, right now, there are too many agencies, and we have maintained that this sector needs to get its act together, harmonize these agencies, streamline, so we stop dissipating resources and stop working at cross purposes and focus on the goals. And therefore, the much that I have seen in this bill, there's nothing here that one of these agencies, their laws, even if it requires an amendment, cannot be amended to basically take on board. We will not be supporting the establishment of, but We don't have the final say, of course, but and this is a consistent position that we have taken for a while. Many of you have heard about the famous Oronsaye report and all of that. For 10 years now, we've put it aside. And today, we do not only just have a committee working on the implementation of the Oronsaye report. We have another committee reviewing the additional agencies that have been established since the Oronsaye report. And believe me, they are quite a lot. We can't continue like this as a country. It's not fiscally sustainable. The second part of the objective of this bill, however, which is to provide an enabling enabling environment for the creative industries in Nigeria and other related matters, has our full support. And whatever is needful to be done in this regard, we will be prepared to do and support. There are other specific details which, in the interest of time, I'm not going to this thing, but my office will also prepare, a memo, on this and submit. But let me caution here. Trust me, I know that some of the people who are probably involved in this process, given by the cast of speakers today, are people who have been associated with this industry, this sector for a while, and who I have no doubt have the best interest of this sector at heart and perhaps believe that this is the... But trust me, if we go forward on this basis, this might become a clog in the wheel rather than... I've seen here about fees to be charged by the commission and all of those kinds of whatever and all of these. I'm seeing here things about borrowing powers. The commission will have power to borrow more money. I think that the jury is out about whether Nigerians think anybody should be borrowing any more. So, the creative industries impact fund, great idea. But such funding exists today already by the central bank, as far as I know. I don't know what's impeding access to it. So if people are thinking about a fund that will be government money and therefore, basically national cake, easy to whatever this thing, it's not going to happen because the capacity of government to even do such things doesn't exist. This sector has come this far, almost in spite of government rather than with government. Don't bring too much government into this sector. You risk, losing a lot of what we have gained so far. I have maintained at when we have had policy debates in government around this subject, my position consistently has been this sector requires the support of government. But one of the biggest areas it requires the support of government is protection of intellectual capital. Today we have agencies of government whose job it is to do that. They're not doing that. Creating another commission isn't going to change that. Anyway, I'll leave it like that, and I just wish the forum, the very best as it engages in the objective of, creating, further growth in this very critical sector of our economy. Thank you, and God bless you.
Of Legal and Drafting for the Ministry of Justice. Please, can you come and join? Please, thank you. Please, can I also call the head of legal for the NTDC? Please, madam, can you also come and join? Deputy Director for MBC, Broadcasting Company, please, can you also come and join us on stage, please? Please, let's be quick so that we can sit down. The women, please, I have to join this picture.